Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Jordi Ledesma here. I'm the CEO and founder of Bitfari. Bitfari is a DAO that plans to change advertising. We are getting a nice community, a very nice group of people. Um, it's actually gravitating towards the project because they find it interesting. And they requested that I do a deep dive into the platform to get people to understand a little bit more about the technology and the concept. I apologize for my English as I am an immigrant, but I think you will enjoy this presentation even despite my heavy accent. Let me just maximize this presentation so that we can get started with the show. All right, so Bitfari is a DAO, and DAO means Distributed Autonomous Organization. What that essentially means is that Bitfari uses people, computers, and blockchain technology to automate several processes that we used to do in society and that took a lot of time and a lot of resources out of everyone involved. In particular, Bitfari deals with advertising and also has some social networking functionalities. So the idea with Bitfari is to take all of the advertising in the world, in the planet, and put it on the blockchain. And I think that would be a great idea because advertising is something that requires a lot of consensus from a lot of people. And blockchains are great to manage transparency, consensus, accountability, and to manage ownership. I don't know if any of you guys are from the advertising world, but if you spoke to somebody from the advertising world, they will tell you that placing an ad is hard because you have to negotiate prices, you have to book schedules, then you have to create the ad, print the ad, distribute the ad, then you have to actually install the ad on a billboard. And I'm talking about physical billboards at this point, billboards that that are showing you the ad through the pretty old technology of paper. Obviously, today we have digital billboards, and those billboards get updated pretty quickly, but there are a lot of issues with those as well. They are not flexible enough, they are not ideal for the digital world in which we live in. And for this reason, a lot of people are going, that are placing their publicity online. They are moving to Google, they are moving to Facebook, they are moving to Twitter and other social media outlets, and they are placing their ads there. But the billboard remains the best way to showcase your ad for a number of reasons. You get a bigger canvas, you get a captive audience. You don't have to actually build traffic to the location. The location already has traffic, and there's no click fraud. So it's really the most traditional form of advertising, and it's the one that works best. So in this talk, um, I am going to do a deep dive into the basics of Bitfari, what networks um, are there in the platform at launch time, what is visual mining, um, what is our understanding of and our contribution to smart cities. How can we contribute to the vision of creating a smart city? What are the tokenomics that make Bitfari work? And then I will do a demo of the platform. I will do a demo of, I think, the projector, and I will also show you um, the UI. I will show you the upcoming apps that are about to hit the network. We will compose an ad, and I'll show you around. I'll show you around the interface. Obviously, Bitfari has not been fully deployed yet. At this point, I'm taping this on October 21st. At this point, we have deployed the token and we have deployed screen registration contracts to testnet, and we have deployed some direct ad listing contracts to testnet as well. But we are yet to deploy the community network contracts to testnet. And that is actually the final part of the Neruda release, which is about 70 to 75% complete as I am taping this. And yeah, I think I'll take you around the roadmap as well, just so that you get a sense of how far along we are on this magical journey that is building Bitfari. Okay, so Bitfari is technically speaking, it's a peer-to-peer decentralized advertising solution. And I know that's a mouthful, but what that means is essentially that in the old days, in order to place an ad, you needed to pick up the phone, call somebody, go to a meeting, speak with a bunch of people, get approval for massive, massive budgets. I'm talking about millions of dollars in this case. And then you will go through this tumultuous process that could last from 1 to 2 to 3 to 6 months, in which there's a debate. And this debate is happening mostly in our heads, right? People are telling themselves, well, I think that if I place an ad on this location, my ad will perform better. No, I think, and then somebody else will say, I think if the color of the ad were green instead of white, it will perform better. And then somebody will say, well, I think that we need to target women more than men because then the ad will convert better. While all of this is happening, there are a bunch of nerds in a garage starting a startup, and they are placing ads on Google, doing A/B testing, and building automation into advertising so that the computer and the market decides which ad performs the best. So right now with billboards, we don't have that technology, and Bitfari brings that technology into the traditional advertising world. What Bitfari also does is that it brings that technology to normal, regular people that place, classified ads and that distribute flyers and that place post ads on message boards. It brings technology to those people so that they can benefit from free technology and blockchain enabled advertising solutions that get them to the digital era of advertising. And we will see this as we go further along in the presentation. The other thing is that we also get to do away with bureaucracy. In Bitfari, you don't really need to go through a bureaucracy to place an ad. And that is one of the things that I like the most about the technology, which is that you can come up with an idea, you can come up with a minimal budget. You pay a designer to create the art, and then you put that art on an IPFS service just so that the address is permanent and is immutable. And I will explain that later. I will explain later what that is. Or you could just, like write some copy and choose a template from the system, and the system will automatically give you a design. That would be, that would be something that you would do for classifieds or things like that. And you can place an ad in 30 seconds. Literally, you could place an ad in 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and it could be showing up in the real world in 1 hour, 2 hours. And after that happens, you can let the ad run its course, and you can test it out. If it works, fine, you leave it. If it doesn't, you tweak it, and that's it. So it really changes the game. The fact that it is peer-to-peer changes the game in the sense that you only need to make the ad and then you send the ad to a network operator and they will show the ad for you if they think they can show the ad. So you don't have to talk to anybody in between. You don't have to talk to an agency. You don't have to talk to any corporate suits. You don't have to get budget approval. You can test out your ad in 1 to 2 hours just by using this peer-to-peer DAO, right? Now, the fact that it's decentralized is also important. There are many nodes in the Bitfari network, and all of those nodes come to an agreement whether an ad was shown, whether a conversion happened, and whether the ad was effective. Decentralization is highly important in this field because we need the assurance that many nodes actually witness the transaction, that many nodes actually witness the ad distribution, which is, I wouldn't say something of a big concern in the advertising industry, but what is of big concern in the advertising industry is how performant a particular billboard is. And Bitfari fixes that problem because everything is public and everything was arrived through the consensus of a decentralized body of machines that were counting separately whether the ad was shown, whether the ad was seen, whether the ad made a sale, etc., etc., etc. So let's dive in. Bitfari opens the communication channels for everybody, for corporates and for regular people. If you are a corporate type, we will slash your prices, your ad distribution prices by 90% in some cases. And the way we do that is that we can actually sell ads by charging you per click, as we do in as it is done online, as Google and Facebook and Twitter are doing. A lot of people they just gawk and they ask me, how is that even possible? Well, we have a tracking solution that shows the ad on a physical billboard, and it also shows the ad on the smartphone of passersby, of people that are passing by the location where that billboard is. And when they see the ad in their smartphone, if they want to act at that moment, they can click on it, they can see more information, and they can make a purchase. But what that gives you is total transparency about how performant that billboard is. And in the future, we hope to make billboards as performant as online ads. So that's what corporate people get. They get super discounted prices, they get amazing reporting, and they just get the ability to show their ads on big screens while they are spending at sometimes the same amount of money or even less amount of money than they are spending on digital. You can also buy ads per impression on billboards, and you can also buy smaller billboards like smart screen size ads. So it's it's a good deal. It's a good deal for corporations. I think it's a really good deal for agencies. Now, for people, for the community, let's say that you lost your cat and you want to place an ad. What is the alternative right now? Maybe you will go to Twitter, place an ad with your location. I just lost my dog or cat, and you post a picture of the pet. Maybe you go to Facebook. Maybe you go to one of these local social networks that are popping up. Maybe you go to your local gym and you put a picture of the pet, of the lost pet, on the message board of the gym. Have you seen my dog? Whatever. Those are highly time consuming, ineffective, low-tech solutions to a problem that shouldn't really be that hard. But up to this point, people actually didn't have an avenue to distribute those ads. Um, so you open up Bitfari, you create your ad, you put a picture of the pet in the ad, and you choose the community network of your city, and you distribute the um, photo of the pet on that community network. The billboards will get the ad, auditors would approve it. That's an ad that could be approved automatically, so it could be posted within minutes. And then the ad will rotate across screens on the network. And at the moment that the ad starts receiving engagement from people that are pausing and seeing it, or maybe clicking it to see a picture of the pet and increase it and whatever, the network will dynamically rotate the ad to target those kinds of people and those kinds of locations. So you will get not only a dynamic posting of the ad, you will not only get a dynamic distribution of the ad, you will also get a dynamic rotation of the ads, which is something that um, advertising people spend a lot of time in, spend a lot of time rotating ads and kind of shuffling things around to get better results. So you don't need to do that with Bitfari. You can actually just place an ad and let the machine do its thing. Um, and it will cost you what, 25 cents? What are transaction fees nowadays? Like 10 cents, 25 cents? You could use free screens in your community to distribute these ads, which is something that I want to talk about later. There are free screens and there are screens that you pay for. So here's the tricky part. Okay, here's the tricky part. In order to make this happen, it's just not easy. It's just not easy. It's not something that you can do on your typical plain vanilla blockchain and have it be decentralized just by using common architectures. So this is why Bitfari is so novel. Okay, Bitfari it's actually a Trinity word chain. So it's a triad of blockchains. It has three blockchains. So the main blockchain is actually virtualized, or I'll just say the main three blockchains are virtualized using the Stacks network. Um, and what we have are group of smart contracts and group of digital assets that speak to each other in different rails. So the first rail, it's a rail of areas. So we have one group of blockchains per area. So we have one that is for New York, for example. We have one that is for Mexico. We have another one that is for the Dominican Republic. We have another one that is for Pittsburgh. We have another one that is for Egypt, etc. And the way these groupings of screens or these areas are created, it's we decided to create them based on urban populations. So in the case of New York, since the group of urban populations are so big, we have three areas for New York. But in the case of Pittsburgh, since the like really urban downtown population is so small, we have one area for Pittsburgh. If that hopefully that makes sense. So at level one, you have a blockchain of areas, and these areas contain a number of settings and codes, and they sort of create social contracts and have like variables that govern everything that goes beneath them. In the second layer, we have a chain of ads. So this chain of ads, it's a essentially a blockchain of NFTs, and these NFTs are ads. So these NFTs, and I'm sorry if I didn't say it like at the beginning, but this is a deep dive into Bitfari, so this is going to be a fairly technical presentation, right? So an NFT is a non-fungible token, and what that means is that it's actually a digital entity that lives in the blockchain that cannot be fungible, cannot be divided. It's like one thing. It's like, if you will, you can think of a title or a piece of art or something that is really not fungible, that is not divisible, right? So an ad is not divisible. I cannot like take an ad and then like divide it and split it and say you have half of an ad, one third of an ad. It's just an ad. It's just like one thing. It's just like one blob, right? So we have a blockchain of NFTs of ads that are in booking and auditing, and they have an address and they have metadata and they have this booking data associated with them, and they live in a blockchain, and they are like a second layer. Then we have a third layer, which is obviously a chain of screens, billboards, and you do publishing these screens. And the way in which we show an ad is that we match a screen with an ad. We just like that address from that ad NFT goes into the wallet of the screen, and then the screen has a mining program. We call it visual mining program, which will show the ad, which will like open up the NFT, like get the data from it, and then show the ad on the screen. It if you were to do this system in a centralized way, it would be like pretty easy to do. Doing it in a decentralized way is really hard to do. Why do we why do we go through all these hoops to build a decentralized ad displaying system? Because we need decentralization to maintain consensus and to ensure everybody across the globe that the ad was actually shown, that it really happened, that the billboard is performant, because people across the globe have doubts about the performance of thousands, hundreds of thousands of billboards. You don't really know, like it's actually placing an ad on a billboard. I don't want to say it's a game of chance because all of them are effective, but in some instances you lack sophistication, right? And this gives you, first of all, it gives you the assurance that the data you're seeing is real and is like 100% unbreakable and 100% like real. And then it gives you the sophistication of being able to take this data and play with it digitally. Now, the final chain, it's I know I said a trinity of chains, right? So like one more would be like too many, one too many. But the final chain is an optional chain, right? And that optional chain, it's what we call a shadow chain. And I'm not gonna really go into details about what that is. It's basically a virtualized chain that we do using Java across like mobile devices, and we create like a small blockchain at that point. And what we do is that we create a small ecosystem of digital actors that are connecting to actually ensure that the manipulation that you do with the screen, when you actually click on a button and you say I want to use the screen and I want to like I don't know, like amplify a menu, translate something into my native language, or see a different ad or whatever, that the manipulation that you're doing with that billboard is actually approved, right? So for that we create like a real-time chain of digital devices that actually know that since they are connected to the network, they know that an ad was being shown there. Since they are connected to something that is the mempool of passersby, they can know that somebody was passing through that location, and they will say, yes, this person is authorized to use the system and what have you. So it's like a highly technical concept. I could like go into detail about how that one works, but it's a virtual chain for screen interfacing. And if you look at the arrows here, like this one shows this smartphone interfacing with the virtual chain so that it can control the screen, right? So it doesn't go to the screen directly. It has to go to this virtualized chain. But there are some actors, some of them are random, and those random actors will actually tell this mobile device that it can actually manipulate the screen, the billboard, which is here. But I'm sorry, this picture got cropped, so you don't get to see the billboard here. This is the billboard here, and then areas connect to the billboard. Computing devices like personal computers, they connect to the chain of ads if an ad were to be shown on this computer. So we see an ad that is going through this computer, we see an ad that are going to these devices, because this ad it's personalized to this smartphone and this ad is personalized to this smartphone. So it's not like you can connect to this entity like if we're a database. This entity connects to you because it's personalizing the ad experience to you. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, let's keep moving. So, um, there are three main components of Bitfari. The first one is, and the most important one, is a disclosure matrix. The second one are channels, and the third one are projection engines. So, a disclosure matrix is a set of keywords or data that actually help you personalize your experience, set your preferences, and um, see the content that you want to see. The way that works is that you have a wish list and you update that wish list and you put into that wish list whatever you're into. We are also going to have screens where you're going to be able to set some preferences, right? All of that is part of your disclosure matrix. If you feel comfy saying that you are a Christian, for example, we will block certain ads. If you feel comfy saying that you are male, we will try to choose ads that have been proven to perform best with the male population. If you say that you are a, a person of Hispanic, right? You don't speak English, you prefer to see everything in Spanish, we will take that from your disclosure matrix and we will try to show you ads in Spanish if they are available. So the disclosure matrix is it's really a key component. The way this disclosure matrix works is that it's actually um, I you can try to think of it as the metadata inside an NFT that lives inside of your wallet, but it's something that we can generate on the fly and change on the fly. So if you wanted to change your wish list before you went to the mall today, you can do it. And then when you go to the mall, you will see ads that relate to your specific trip of today. So if yesterday you were into buying t-shirts, you will see ads for t-shirts. If today you are into buying shoes, you will see ads for shoes. It's it's really simple. It's really simple, right? Now, channels. Channels are um, like I didn't want to get like too technical. It's like a spatial product. So you got a matrix, and that matrix is like three-dimensional, and it has like three components, like three dimensions, right? So the first dimension is the network. The second dimension is like the area, and the third dimension is category. So and you can also think of it as a vector, right? If you are like from the math or science background. So area is essentially your location, right? So an area is just like a geofence of a location, and then the network will be the type of screen in which you're showing the ads. And finally, the category will be, is it a political ad? Is it like a fly fishing ad? Is it an electronics ad? So you are able to choose a channel that is actually a composite of area, network, and category. So that makes it very, very targeted, especially when you take the channel and you mix it with the disclosure matrix. So we are really able to like target the people up to the very location and frame of mind that they are in. The third component is a projection engine. We have we have quite a few of those. We even have like AR projection engines under development, and we released one last week, which is the lightweight projection engine for um, what we call a general type billboard. So that one works on HTML, and it's really lightweight. It can work on a cell phone, it can work on a computer, it can work on e-paper devices. It's really nice and really fast. And these projection engines use something that we call visual mining. Visual mining is that you mine by seeing stuff, which is like something new. It's something that you can only have on the DAO because computer vision is not like really like super accurate. But I guess you could have it using computers if you found a way in which to manage the mistakes that some computer vision softwares make. Um, the way it works in Bitfari is that three people have to see the ad and then the ad gets logged. And when I say three people, I mean a pre-auditor and an auditor and an operator. So when the ad gets shown, it could be distributed directly from one ad composer to a screen, and then the ad will just be deployed to that screen. Like no one is involved. There's no visual mining whatsoever, aside from the visual mining of the operator of the receiving screen. And that person will just say, "Well, I think this ad is appropriate. I will show it," and then the ad is shown, and that's it. But if you were to place an ad on the community network, on a location that is a pretty heavy location, that is a location that is busy, think a gym, right? Or think maybe a municipal office. Yeah, you could connect to that message board. And when I say message board, I mean like a digital message board that that is like digital and is showing like postings through a computer. But in the middle, it has an ad, or maybe it shows the postings and then it shows makes a post and then shows the ad. And in order for you to show the ad on that location, the ad needs to be like audited. So what we do is that we run it through a system of auditing, and that system is 90% computerized. Some computers actually take the words and they filter bad words and they filter it can be like really sophisticated. We are able to find like even if you use like asterisk and that sort of stuff inside of words, we can actually tell that it's a bad word, right? So it just gets filtered and the ad gets flagged and it doesn't get shown. But if it's like an ad that we are like 50% sure that it could be good, could be bad, it goes through an auditor and then the auditor will say it's okay, and they move it along, and then it goes to the operator, and the operator shows it. So every ad is like they go through these projection engines where they are shown, people see it, and they say, well, this ad is okay, and then that's how the ad gets shown, and that's how we tell if the ad is appropriate. At the end of the day, screen operators get to tell which ads they show, but we made some recommendations to them, and these recommendations could be as varied as this ad is not appropriate because it breaks laws, or this ad is not appropriate because it targets minors, or this ad is defamatory, or what have you, right? So what we do is that we um, give this reference for free to screen operators. A lot of people also get into trouble because they display, advertisements that didn't necessarily go through a highly detailed quality assurance process. So there's that. So we have pre-auditing, we have auditing, and we have a system of flagging by screen operators. So it's not like you will have something that wasn't seen by at least three people. And then we have a system where if an ad is inappropriate, it can be flagged by the community, and then that can bring notice to the operator, and the operator can also bring it down, right? So it's a pretty safe system. We have a lot of checks and balances to actually forbid people of putting certain kinds of pictures in the ads, if you know what I mean. So that really doesn't happen in our system. In order to put a picture, you will have to use IPFS, so the picture will get frozen, and then you will see it it will go through a filter. The filter will detect that the picture is inappropriate, and then the app will be flagged and it wouldn't be shown. At that point, like even auditors wouldn't see that type of ad unless unless the ad is of a certain kind being projected on an adult network or what have you, which is something that you can do. You can actually have a private network and make an adult network and show controversial acts on those, but not in a community network. Okay, so this is how it works. You have the billboard here, and it's a small city billboard, and you can control it, or you can actually customize what you see on the billboard using a smart watch, a smartphone, or a PC. And all of these devices, they have wallets. All of these devices have the disclosure matrix inside the wallet, which is that dynamic NFT that I was talking to you about. All of them are connected to the network, not directly to the billboard, but through Bitfari in the fashion that I explained a couple of slides ago. And this person can actually choose what they are seeing on the billboard just by using buttons on their smartphone. This woman is placing an ad that is actually shown on the billboard because she shows the network that belongs to the billboard. And this person is opening a wallet, clicking a couple of buttons, and then he wants to see the menu for the place in his language, and he actually can magnify the menu and see it on a billboard that is, on a restaurant. This is really nice. We're really proud of this. You can have these billboards installed on your restaurant, and people can see the menu in whichever language they want. You can actually create content for kids. You can find in the wallet that the person is a kid, and that there's a kid nearby, so then you can show the kids menu on the billboard. It's really nice. It really works really well. It gives people feel happy when they see stuff in their native language, or when they see content that is specifically built for them. Contextualization is really powerful in conversion. I think contextualization is the most powerful way to get a person to convert to an ad or call for action. Um, let's keep moving. So when you look at all of this in aggregate, you get society 3.0. You get a society where we know what people want, and we can actually change the content and context of what they're seeing. In order to do so, we have created three networks, and these, or three types of networks, I will say, because we thought it will have eventually thousands of networks. There is the direct network, where you can just place an ad on a screen directly, and you don't have to speak with anybody, and it's like 100% peer-to-peer. So you just create a screen. That screen will have a QR code. You can take that QR code and post an ad to that screen. So if you wanted to make some extra money and you have a barber shop and you create a screen, and that screen is part of the community network and the direct network, I can choose to place my ad through the community, or I can choose to place my ad directly to you. The difference is this: if I choose to place my ad directly to you, then I will have to pay what you tell me to pay for the billboard. If I choose to place the ad through the community, then I will have to deal with the community's network algorithm for ad pricing, right? So you can choose, you can mix and then choose what you want. How do you want to do this? Do you want to deal with me directly in terms of pricing, or do you want to deal with the community? Another thing is that if you're dealing with me directly, then I might let you show me any type of ads, and I might let you put any type of ads that you want to put on my screen. But if you're dealing with the community, well, the community has some rules, and it has some auditors that might find the content that you want to distribute to be a little bit offensive. The idea of building an open society is to give people a lot of outlets, a lot of billboards, a lot of ad spaces, so that they can post their messages. And right now, the problem that we have is that at least in the US. The problem that we have is that um, ad space is largely a corporate thing. It's so expensive that it's largely a corporate thing. And yes, there are some solutions out there that let you buy billboards by the minute or by the second, but it's still too expensive. We need something that is even less expensive than that, because if the price is low enough, then everybody will be able to place an ad. And if the price is low enough, then everybody will be able not only to say what they think, they are able to say what they think on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, what have you, but they will be able to gain an audience. And that's the most powerful and beautiful thing about Bifari, that you're able to gain an audience by spending like nothing, by spending like what, like tens of dollars. And then after you gain an audience, you can be heard, you can start a dialogue, you can start a movement. That brings us to a society in which more people think alike, because more people are joining to groups of thought, of similar thought. I'm sorry to say that T. So yeah, so that's actually what builds community, dialogue. And when we give people powerful avenues for dialogue, changes begin to happen. We have I call this the money network. This is the interest and agency network. So what is this? This is private networks. So if an agency wants to actually take all of their billboards, disconnect them, and then connect it to Bitfari, because Bitfari has transparent technology, blockchain-enabled technology, a captive audience, it has tokenomics, it has dynamic ad rotation, it has free data mart to actually like see what's going on, it has free A/B testing, it has all this stuff that I haven't been able to build on my network for like decades. And now I can just install a software and plug it in and make my network of billboards be like 10 times smarter. My God, I'm gonna do it. How much does it cost? No, no, it's free. This is a public blockchain. You can just connect and it's free. What are you talking about? This is another powerful type of network, the interest and agency networks. And agencies will have their own networks, and then interest-based groups will have their own networks. So we will see the Christian network, maybe a Christian network of churches, the Islamic network, maybe Islamic, what do you call them, mosques, right? Or we will see a Jewish network, a network of mosques connected together. Um, sorry, of synagogues connected together. So you can have these interest networks that actually group together a set of billboards and they distribute ads from one church to the next, or from one educational facility to the next, or from one synagogue to the next. And then that creates a social discourse among those groups of people. Yes, there are facilities in Facebook, Twitter, maybe even Instagram to actually like geolocate your messages, but that it's not it's not sufficiently targeted so that you can actually target a particular area, a particular place, because you know what these people are, and if you want to target them on a place by place basis, there's no way to do it right now. But Bifari gives you that possibility. We have 4 networks that we plan to do within this year and the next. Um, and we are almost done with Neruda. This is the community network. It includes physical billboards and screens. Next, we're gonna go with Para, which is programmable ads. This can do all sorts of nifty things. Then we're gonna move to augmented reality. This is gonna be killer because we can actually show if the tablet of your car, I mean, if you had like a Tesla, you can have like apps, you can show what's there, or if you like in the future, right? in the future, if you were driving a car equipped with a smart windshield, we can show ads on that windshield. And then since you are the screen, since you are the screen operator, people are paying you to put ads on your car because the windshield is effectively the billboard, right? So you're the operator and you're getting the money that people are paying to place the ad in a billboard. So this could give you gas money. This is like really exciting. The other thing is that if like so you put glasses, right? The smart glasses. Everybody is trying to do it. Google has tried, Amazon has tried. Now Facebook, I guess, is trying. I guess at some point Apple will try. The way we're gonna try to do this is by paying people to wear the glasses. So yeah, we're gonna build a network and then we're gonna integrate the network with like off-the-shelf glasses, like standard hardware, right? We are not really like a big company. We're like a very very small company, and yeah, but this is gonna be like really exciting. And then Cervantes is for online and search ads, and this is at least 6 months away. But yeah, four major networks. All of them are global, all of them are secure, all of them are relevant, all of them are private. I already spoke about visual mining. It uses social oracles, operators, and customers to actually come to a agreement upon which ads should be shown and which ads should not be shown or should be sent back for revision. Um, as I as I said at the beginning of this presentation, Bitfari is a DAO, so we are speaking about mining, not in the sense of computers mining. We're speaking about mining in the sense of people and machines coming together to create the end product of the DAO, which is a decentralized network of ads that we all agree upon that can be shown and that are okay to be shown in our society. And instead of having corporations and agencies and gurus do that, we can do that ourselves by using Bitfari because it creates a protocol of social integration and computerized synchronization to make it happen. Uh, yeah, so we have a token. It's called the Fari. I'm really proud of it. It's a new design. It's great. It's one of the first stacks token. It's a killer. I think this is a killer app of our network. This token is amazing. Um, so the token it's 80% mine, and then 10% airdropped. So a lot of people are gonna get faris. We plan to do like a massive airdrop, hopefully targeting hundreds of thousands of people. If I had it my way, I would airdrop it to millions to kickstart the network. So this is a network that's gonna get a lot of usage because we have a lot of tokens to give away, and since the token only has like a maximum amount of 100 million, it's really scarce. So I think it's gonna be really valuable, and people are understanding that this is a token of attention. This is the token of attention that actually works. It's not BAT, which is which is a competitor of ours. Now BAT chose to go the digital route first, and they are doing an okay job on digital. Um, but they didn't pursue the physical ads because it's just too hard of a market. Thing is that blockchain can create a bigger impact on the physical market, and the physical market gives you guaranteed distribution, guaranteed exposure. It's actually more expensive. There's more money involved. It affects more people, and if you do it right, it doesn't end up being it doesn't end up being it ends up being more broadly distributed. Let me just put it that way. Mm, I don't wanna say anything about any other networks, right? Steam is another network, nice network that started a social network and there's only focusing on digital attention, and that's great. We are going to have our own digital network that's going to be powered by the Bitfari as well, and that will be competing against Steam. So if you want to place Bitfari, I would say that instead of being a token, we are a DAO, and we are sort of competing against BAT and Steam, but we are a little bit more ambitious in the sense that we are also competing with the traditional like advertising and media corporate world. So it's like it's like its own thing. You get FARIs by registering screens. When a screen joins the network and is tested, you get some FARIs. You get FARIs by auditing ads. You get FARIs by getting them on an airdrop. You get FARIs by trading them, buying them, right? So this is actually out. It's been out since August. We have successfully completed thousands of transactions using the FARI. So the token is working fine. Um, well, this is actually the workflow that we use to show ads. Let me just go through it quickly, just so that I don't make this presentation too crazy and too long, right? You connect pseudonymously through the network. You place an ad. Um, you speak to something called an ad composer. In this case, this ad composer is something on the cloud, but it could be something local in your machine. Doesn't necessarily needs to be on the cloud. It just happens that this is a very sophisticated ad composer, and it's like a Photoshop. It kind of lets you create your own ad and write it and whatever. So you do, or you can use it just Photoshop and then save it as a JPEG and then upload it, and that's it. That's that. Then you compose the ad. Then the ad it's going to be get validated for language. Using bad words. Is this okay? Yes. So if it's okay, then we have to calculate the payment, like for how long you want to show this ad, in which network you want to place it, yada yada yada. After payment, then we calculate network fees, placement fees, priority fees, auditing fees, all of the fees, and then you use your Stack wallet to pay for that. All right? So that's good. Now, all of this happens in your computer. All of this happens in your computer. So this is like really fast. And whenever you see this I, this is the Bitfari blockchain, which is a collection of stacks, smart contracts. So you connect to the Bitfari blockchain, and then Bitfari blockchain does pricing calculations. And what that means is that since you're connecting to the blockchain, you want to do operations that are um, decentralized and that are that they respond to the consent of the majority of people. They respond to the consent of the network, to the consensus of the network. Sorry, excuse me about that. So the consensus of the network in terms of pricing is that an ad on the community network for Pittsburgh maybe might be like 15 cents per hour in a municipal billboard. That's the consensus of that network in that city. So we need to connect to the blockchain to get that price. Um, and that's like one major piece of software that we have developed. And the way the price gets calculated is that we need to add these fees. We need to add these fees, right? Then it goes to auditing after it's booked, and is audited by a random selection of human auditors if it requires auditing. If it were only a text ad, it wouldn't require auditing and it will get posted immediately. But since it's a graphic ad, then it sort of requires auditing. And this is like really cheap. It only costs like $2. And once an ad is audited, you can just like replace it and replace it and replace it. You don't have to do it again. This is like all the stuff that we have to do to deal with, porn and like gross images and what have you. Yes, we have like software that can use like a neural network and catch a lot of bad things, but since it's a DAO, there's no problem in including people. And since it's ads, there's no problem in including people because we don't need to mine a block. We don't need to do a transaction in 1 minute or 1 second or 10 minutes, right? And that can be placed in 1 hour or 2 hours, and it will still be super faster than than what it's taking us right now. Right now, if you were to place an ad on a billboard, it takes you weeks. Okay, so it gets pre-audited, and if the auditors agree, then the ad becomes part of the network and it goes for booking and showing. So it's really simple, and we have these diagrams for everything on the network. Smart cities. In aggregate, when all of this happens, and everybody or a critical number of people fill out their interest lists and their disclosure matrices, then we can um, offer them real, like offers in real time for a critical number of people. We can start generating ads in real time because we know what people want in real time. So let's say you open your disclosure matrix and you say, I want ice cream. And then somebody 2 or 3 doors from you says, oh my God, I want an ice cream so bad. And then somebody in the vicinity says, I want a chocolate ice cream so bad that I like could die right now if I don't get a chocolate ice cream. A marketer could see that data in real time and create an ad just for the three of you. And since you have the Bitfari ad, you will see an ad created 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, showing you a coupon for a 50% discount on chocolate ice cream. How amazing is that? That's how a real-time city would work. And the only thing that requires for that to happen is for a lot of people to install Bitfari. So it's really not that hard. It could happen, right? Um, Also, real-time offers. So, instant transactions for immigrants, instant filtering for people that don't want to see some things. So we get to be more resilient as a society because of that. And I'm thinking children as well. Um, and then real-time offers that adjust to you and not you having to adjust to whatever you're seeing. There's a lot of data in Google that you don't really get to see in real time, like really real time. And as marketers, we get to see the keywords and we get to see some data, but not necessarily for free. So having all of this in a blockchain is kind of nice. It's nice that it's pseudonymous as well. The way you get these keywords is not connecting through a blockchain. We are going to build specialized software for that. That's going to be like real time, and it's going to be for like sophisticated advertisers. The thing is that it's going to be free, and since it's going to be free and it's going to be accessible via APIs and whatnot, then that opens up the canvas for people to experiment with new kinds of software and new kinds of solutions to build smart cities around the stuff that we want right now. Let's keep going. Yeah, so what happens when 10 people have Bitfari and they all have different things and they all pass by a billboard at the same time? Then the billboard has a visual mining software that calculates what's best for the group. I don't want to get too technical right now. It's like you build a matrix, and then on the matrix you put like, what's the probability that this person will buy this? What's the probability that this person will buy that? What's the expected, like, the expected revenue from showing this or that ad? And then they show the ad that will yield the probably best expected revenue. If it's like three people, then like we just take three ads and we rotate them because there's like another factor, which is like how long will it take a person to pass through the billboard and then not seeing that billboard as they walk by. So there's also like that calculation, like the calculation of like the field of view and how far you are, and we do that, with the location type and then the size of the billboard. And at the beginning, it's gonna be like not really well optimized, but as time goes along, it's gonna be like really, really well optimized. Um, and then we got the double feature, which is something that I love saying. We got a double feature. So the double feature is that you see the ad on the billboard and then you see the ad on your phone. How cool is that? And when you see the ad on your phone, then you can click on it, act on it, and then you can look like save it for later, make a note that you saw the ad because you actually want to see these ads because you're actually into this stuff at this very minute. Let's say you were working in Italy and you say museums. You want to see like all the ads on that location for a discount on how to enter on a museum. You want to see the museum that's hot at the moment because you are at that place at that time and you're into that stuff that you want to see. And then if you don't want to see it, just like minimize the app. But then if when you go back to the hotel, you open up the ad again and you say, what was this ad I saw? Because it's actually relevant to you. Relevance is the key to this game. It's not that we as a society don't want to see ads because we are super individualistic. It's not that. It's that ads today are simply not relevant for us. And advertisers are taking a cookie cutter approach in their messaging. And now they have a tool with which they will hopefully don't have to take the cookie cutter approach. How on earth are you gonna get people to fill out their disclosure matrices, audit ads, and install these screens and do all of this stuff? Well, the answer is on the right, and it's actually money. It's actually Bitcoin. Um, yeah, people are gonna get paid to show ads. They're gonna get paid to install screens, initially on Faris, and then as people start placing more and more ads, screen operators are going to get Faris, they're going to get stacks, they're going to get Bitcoin. And as more and more people start using the system and they start filling the disclosure matrices, when they fill out everything and they like super configure the system's going to say, oh my God, you're like configured to at 100%. So you have a high chance of winning this block or winning this price. And then when they're walking, if if an ad is shown near to them and that ad is part of a big campaign and a lot of money was put into that campaign, let's say $5 million, $10 million, there is a fraction of the money that goes to billboard operators, to the operators, but not all of the money goes to them. You could think that about 90% of the money goes to the people showing the ads, and about like maybe like 5% of the money goes to like auditors and customers. So like 2.5% and 2.5%. And then there's like another 5% that that can uh, that can even maybe like go back to the client if not all of the time for the ad was used, or if the client cancels sometime. Um, but yeah, let's say Coca-Cola plays a global campaign, $5 million, $1 million on Bitfari because they are buying like big billboards and whatnot, and they're buying thousands of them, tens of thousands of them globally. People walking in the screens, walking in the streets will win prizes for auditing these ads, which is the equivalent of like winning the block, right? Because they're actually mining with their eyes. They're like visually mining this stuff. These people will get, let me see, if let's say it's a smaller campaign, $1 million, 90%, 900,000 goes to screen operators. And some of it obviously will be lost on transaction fees, but it will be like what, like tens of dollars or whatever. So it's not really significant. We can just discard that, not think about that. But we are left with $100,000, 50,000 for a customer, 50,000 for an auditor. It's a good day. You're walking on the mall and the screen pops up and it says you won $50,000. It's just a good day. So we are expecting everybody to install Bitfari, and we are expecting everybody to have the application fully filled out, because what we are giving them when they fill out the preferences and when they fill out what they are into is number one, a customized city that works for them instead of the other way around, and number two, a greater chance of mining the block without having to buy an ASIC. How sick is that? That's, you know, I think it's cool. Honestly, I just think it's cool. So, yeah, we, anything can happen. Maybe we just chip this and nobody cares. But I think a lot of people care, especially since it doesn't really cost us anything to maintain the system, so the system could just keep running forever. At some point, people are gonna figure it out. They are gonna we have incentives. People win parties if they share the system with like friends on Facebook, on Twitter, and whatever. No blockchain has that. We have it. It's like an additional network effect that we can have because we're a DAO. Um, so yeah, we have like network effect upon network effect. So I really think it's gonna work. I really, but it's like a huge gamble at this point. But I really think that it's going to work. And well, we can talk about that in another video. Let me just keep moving. Yeah, so the FARI is really not your average token. So the FARI allows you to save 50% on life, 50% on life. How? How's that even possible? Like that doesn't compute. How is somebody going to save 50% on anything just by having a crypto token? Well, here's the deal. When most of these um, crypto applications were built, when most of these dApps were built, the idea was, let's create a token that powers the network, and let's let the token be the end all be all, the only way by which you could interact with the network, with the dApp. And then let's say you are using Uniswap. So you get the Uni token, you pay your transaction fees, you make your trades, whatever, fine. You can, um, let's say you, let's say I allow you to pay those fees on Bitcoin or on Ether, since that's a lowly Ethereum application using a lowly ERC20 token. Hopefully, the people listening to this or seeing this presentation are Stacks fans. So hopefully they will get the joke. So let's say that I said, you know what, you can pay all of these fees using Bitcoin now. Then that will take something off of the demand for the Uniswap token. So they don't do it. And then there are things like governance, for example, that you can only do using, for example, a compound token. And there are things like network operation fees that you can only do using the token. Bitfari is a little bit different in the sense that, yes, you use the token to do all of these things, but you get a discount. You get a discount on the price of the service, and that discount is 51% if you use the FARI token to operate the FARI network. But if you use Bitcoin, we give you a 25% discount. If you use stacks, we give you, I think it's a 25% discount. If you use dollars, we give you no discount. But we sell you, right? So we don't want dollars, we want crypto. But if you pay with dollars with a stable coin, we take the stable coin. It's okay. And we have to make it open so that a lot of people will use the system. What's different about the FARI token though is that since we give you this deal, this discount when purchasing operations, business owners can actually say, hey, I want FARI tokens too, because I have to place a lot of ads. And they say, you know what? I'm going to give you a 10% discount. if you buy ice cream at my store and you pay with Faris, because I really want those Faris, because they have utility to me. They have a lot of utility because they are attention. And other tokens don't have that effect because it's not your typical business owner that is trading tokens on Uniswap. But it is a typical business owner that is placing ads everywhere and that wants to see physical ads on the streets of his town because he wants to advertise and publicize his business. So for him, the FARI token has more liquidity than a Uniswap token. It's something that he can trade. So he says, I'm going to give you a 10% discount. Buy ice cream at my store. And you say, I don't want a 10% discount. I want I want a 50% discount. And you know what? He will do the math and he will say, yeah, if I give you a 50% discount, I still save 1%. And more importantly, I save on exchange fees. So I'm going to give you 50% discount if you pay me in Faris. And we have an app for that. So we have an app that actually explains that, creates the discount and facilitates the transaction if you pay in Faris. So the Fari is not only it's not only um, an app coin. It's a transactional token as well. It's an e-commerce token, and furthermore, it's a loyalty token. It's something new. It's something really powerful. Obviously, saying 50% like right off the bat, that might be an exaggeration, but sophisticated actors might be able to do it, and maybe like a real estate agent, real estate operator, real estate developer might say, you know what? For me, since the ticket price of the stuff that I sell is so big, and since I'm gonna play such a big campaign, 1%, 2% is great. I'll give you 50% on your house. Pay me in Faris. It's a good deal for me, right? When you get that, and when you get the fact that if if you pay through that channel using Bitcoin, people might give you a 25% discount because you get 26% discount when paying for your ad on Bitfari. When you get that, you realize that actually Bitfari is a Trojan horse for Bitcoin. It's a Trojan horse for Bitcoin mass adoption. That this is something that I really want people to get. Maybe this is successful, maybe it's not, but the concept, the idea, it's something that needs to be out there. This idea of this discount because there's an asset that I want and there's a liquidity that I can get because I understand I need the asset and I need the attention token. When you get that economic transaction, magic happens because all of a sudden your token, it's not only being used to place ads. Your token, it's being used in the regular economy. So what does that create? It creates demand for the token. So yes, the FARI token is an app coin, but it's also an e-commerce coin and a loyalty coin that has additional tokenomics, additional dynamics that make it into the perfect Trojan horse for Bitcoin and make it into a token with very high demand. Obviously, I'm just like getting way ahead of myself. We haven't launched this. We have to launch this. We have to promote it. It has to be moderately successful. And then when it's moderately successful, the network effects will make it into a wildly successful crypto application, a wildly successful DAO. And then we will see if this actually holds up in reality. But I am highly confident that not only that it's going to work, but it will be a game changer. Um, Let me just sort of wrap up here. Um, I need to, I'm sorry, I should have deleted this one. It's just like boilerplate. Let me just do a demo of Neruda and show you, show you the application. I think I took a lot of time, maybe not. Um, where is this? Okay, so we have our beautiful um, foundation page here. This is the website of the foundation. If you go to developers and you go to roadmap, you see the roadmap. Since Bitfari is a network of networks, we are releasing like every network on stages, right? Um, Neruda is about 70% complete. We have released publishing systems, data marts, we have released wallets, we have released screen projectors, we have released Safari token. We need to release community ads. That is what we are working on right now. And there's something called a Bitfari DAO that we don't really need to release it right now because we're not doing governance right now. But I need to release something regarding this governance system so that I can close this token and move on. And maybe what I'll do is that I'll move this to the next release and mark this release as completed, right? Because we are really late. This was released. We started releasing stuff related to Neruda on August 22nd, but we have maybe we're gonna ship everything with a 1 month to 2 month delay. Let me just go to the social connector. Okay, so you go to bitfari.com. If you type in bitfari.com, you see this beautiful like thing here. Okay, you see this dashboard. You see the price of Fari. This is like a reference price. Who knows if it's gonna be the launch price? We set up a survey and we are doing some due diligence on that. Our idea for a release price was this. Just to let people, or maybe with one more zero, just to let people like have Bitcoin like gains, but whatever. So you can click development, and you can see that we have closed 638 tickets. This is actually real. We updated manually, but it's actually real. And we have less open tickets. We have like 6 open tickets. And if you go to network, you will see this is connecting to all data, but it's connecting somewhere, and it shows you like the ad space that we have, and it's cool. It's cool. It's something that sort of like tells you how well the system is doing, how many screens we have, how many apps we have. If you go here, you see one, two, three, 4 apps. So why is Telfari the first app? Telfari is the first app because Bitfari was called Telfari, and Telfari was the thing that started everything. So if you go to Telfari, it's going to tell you that it's an email-like system, and that is a system that replaces flyers. It replaces coupons. Um, if any of you lives in a middle income area, um, you will see that those areas get heavily targeted with a lot of coupons, a lot of paper, because it's a little bit expensive to go to the suburbs and distribute coupons there. But if you live in an apartment building, you get a lot of coupons, and it's a pretty bad way to market to people. But what Telfari does is that it pays you to read coupons. So you send a mail, and that mail says, you know what, my dog is lost, and I have a bounty, 300 stacks if you find my dog. So you send the mail, and then you send the bounty, and you pick a person that won the bounty. It could either be a survey, it could be a tax, it could be something. It's a message that has money attached to it, and you're paying people to actually do tasks. So this one is another Telfari, and this is obviously like a demo. The app is not running. This is essentially like an ad. Like literally, you open up the social connector and you get like 3 ads. You get an ad for Telfari, you get an ad for InstaFriend, you get an ad for well, Live Filter actually works, and then you get to book ads. So you get 2 ads, and then 2 apps at work. Uh, yeah. So you send a message to somebody, and you ask them, are there people at this club? And they can tell you, wow, this club is bad, no, it's great, whatever. And if you're comfortable with the whatever the person said, you reply and you send them the money. So it's message in a bottle with money in it. But then when the people get the message, they complete an action, and you have a magic bottle that actually tells you if they completed the action, and then you unlock the money and they take it. So it's a way to get people in your area to do things that you want them to do. Either look for your dog, tell you about something at a place that you're visiting, um, find a lost pet, like I said here, maybe find a lost kid if you're in Disney. You wanna like be nice, find my kid, I'll give you $100. I'm desperate. Probably a bad joke. Let me see this one. Okay, I'm releasing a new app. I want you to try it out. And then if you try it out, I'll give you this money, 0.001 stacks. But you're sending it to actually 100,000 people. So you're paying people to install your app, find and install your app, and then you get the money. You get to unlock the money. So yeah, it's email with mixed with money. It's sort of like a game changer in crypto. I think it's gonna be big, but we have to do like a better job of marketing it. I'm gonna get like a native English speaker to actually promote this stuff. Right? I actually put those bots because they speak better English than me, to be honest. But they're not funnier than me though. So if you go to InstaFriend, right? What is InstaFriend? InstaFriend is a friend in any place. So you click on Flower Power. She's a friend in some place that you would want to be in, but you're not there. So, hey, where are you? Oh, I'm in New York, Manhattan, Midtown. Wow, that's great. That's amazing. Are you from the area? Yes, I'm from the area. So you chat with this person and you tell them, you know what? I want you to be my host. I want you to be my tour guide. And then you send them stacks. Oh, my rate is like $10, $20. This is like part of the social network that we want to build. And obviously, this part, I mean, we could build it such as we could make a decentralized application, but at this point, there are some instances like the conference call and the video that we are not thinking about making this particular application like be a decentralized app. Telfari will be decentralized. InstaFriend will probably not be a decentralized application. It will be integrated, it will be somewhat decentralized because this person is connecting with the stacks, whatever. But some features of it will have to be, a little bit centralized. I'm sorry. Blockchains don't scale. I'm sorry. Um, Live filter. Okay, so this is the first Bitfari app. And you go here and you say, I want ice cream. Okay, save it. I can't type play. And then I save it. And it updates. I want ice cream. Obviously, this is like a React application. It's only like the front end. I didn't post anything to the blockchain. Nothing is connected. Nothing is enabled yet. This is like only the part that works on your wallet, on your screen, on your personal device. We are going to create, yes, we are going to create like an etiquette for keywords, but we want people to be conversational. We actually have technology that it makes it okay if you're conversational. You don't have to type in like just ice cream or ice cream offers or whatever. We're gonna create an etiquette for people to update this on a consistent fashion. And for in some instances, we are actually thinking about importing likes from Facebook. Um, that's it's debatable how um, ethical that would be, but some people want us to do it. I leave it at that. And then you can add your wish, put more, fill this stuff, and we'll show you ads about movies, we'll show you ads about blenders, and we'll show you ads about ice cream. It's really that simple. Yes, the way in which it works is like highly complicated and whatnot, but it's just we keep it simple for the people. So then you schedule ads. How do you schedule an ad? You just pick a date, you pick a network. We have like five here. Let's play. put it on a community thing, and let's click this add. And this is going to highlight the date in which we're at. And then my ad is going to say, the title of my ad is going to be um, Open House on um, Murray Avenue. Okay. Don't come to my house, don't stop me, please. And I don't live on Murray Avenue, by the way, but Open House on Murray Avenue. And network, community, all right, and then start date today and end date, let's say 1 week, perfect. And I can add like, let's leave it at bifari.org, okay. You know what? Let's make it just for the sake of, let's make it Bitcoin.org because we love Bitcoin. And you place the copy. Uh, 15 on the weekend. And people are gonna get the context of the weekend because of the date. This is basically a classified ad. Um, so if you provide a URL, we will show the URL. If you don't provide a URL, we will show the text. That's simple enough. We can either show a URL, and this can be like an IPFS URL, or it can be like a common URL. And then if you just delete this, we'll show the ad. We show this with the title, like AdWords, and you update. It should be done, right? Okay. And I guess that didn't work. Let's just try a new one. Okay. Open house. And then I just go here. Beautiful. And then let's put it on community. Yeah, and that one was booked. Um, I don't know what this one didn't work, but I guess that's what happens on public live demonstrations. But this one works. If I just click on it, I'll see it. Okay, now we are gonna have a button here that says connect Stacks wallet, and then when you click book, you're gonna have like a second button that says post the ad, and then you post it to the blockchain, and that will start the process of actually distributing this ad to billboards. Um, we have a screen registration screen here to create your screen. We have guides, FAQs, knowledge base, pricing. You all know how that works. Let me see. This pricing, this is like dummy text. I mean, it's gonna be cheap, but I don't know about that, but it's gonna be cheap. Um, and then we have help. We have documentation, and you can raise a support, and then you can change the color here. Good. And this translation has not been updated yet. We have some of it in Spanish, but we haven't posted it yet. We have to get to that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, it's been fun. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to try and do this every week, and I'm going to try to make it shorter right? I'm going to try to make this to be as short as possible. I'm going to try to cut this so that it's um, more digestible, and just give me your feedback and tell me if you like this video so that I can keep doing it. Have a good rest of the day, have a good night, and